Hey there, Cheese Meisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pod After Dark. I'm a blah. I don't know, just lost my ability to speak there. Uh, I am Jeff, and came for a good time, not a long time. And joining me on the other end of the internet, my host.
I'm Leslie, and theater party!
Yeah, that's so. I have a question in what else time, and I already know the answer. Um,
Do
so
you?
100%. Even though we've got a long track record of me going, there's no way you're gonna fucking get this, and then you're like, how about this exact thing? And so
Titanic.
yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, I got you with Hiroshima though. You didn't know that one,
No,
or
because I
the
didn't think
half a
anyone
dozen
would want to
primary.
remember that night, but I was wrong.
Nope, you got to remember. It's a night to remember. This week, Cheese Meisters, we're getting off to a weird start, but that's okay. We are talking about Everybody Wants Some with 2 exclamation points. The 2016 College is a Ton of Fun and Then You Have to Go to Class masterpiece, written and directed by Richard Linklater, starring Blake Jenner, Tyler Hoechlin, I think, Ryan Guzman, Zoe Deutsch, Justin Street, Wyatt Russell, and Glenn Powell. We are watching this in conjunction with Season 4, Episode 3, The Little Fish. And our spelling connection this week is Tyler Hoechlin. He was in Seventh Heaven.
That's what I know him from originally.
Oh, okay. Not
I
as
was like,
Superman, because I know him as Superman.
well, and that's what Walter knew him as. I just knew the face because that is a pure Otts face. I don't know how to describe it, but like that's an Otts face for you. And now I'm realizing it's from seeing him on Seventh Heaven because I have blocked out everything else from that show.
Yeah, I haven't. Jessica Biel's hot. Sorry.
I almost donned another mustache for this episode, and then
Well,
because I am under the weather, I said I don't feel like it.
no, it's a fair choice to make. I've always got one. I could just do this, I guess, and you could imagine if the rest of it wasn't there. But this is a mustachioed film for sure.
I love that part. I loved the
Yeah,
mustaches.
there were
Yeah.
a lot of mustaches to choose from. Oh, that might be something we have to talk about. And what else?
My lust for the stash.
No, I have a question to ask
Oh
about the
God.
mustache. Okay, but so neither one of us had seen this movie before. This is I've heard it described. I can't remember if it was Linklater that described it this way or someone described it this way to him in an interview about this movie. I can't remember the exact, but that this was basically like it's like a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused. Like it's not a sequel because it's not the same characters, but it is, 4 years later. So it's basically like if Mitch, God, I hate that jerk, had played ball all through high school and then went to college to be a baseball pitcher, and his experience, like Jake is Mitch, pretty
Yeah.
much. Um,
No, I did read it. I believe they talked a bit about it in All Right, All Right, All Right. And yeah, those are Richard's words.
Okay. Yeah. So they talked about it in there. What did they say? Because I don't remember.
Briefly, mostly that it's like mostly like what you just said. It is a spiritual sequel, and of course, it spoiled that Willoughby was going to be older. But like again,
Oh,
that's not really a spoiler. Like it's just a thing that is and that happens in the movie. It's no, I don't think it's such a big thing.
I mean, it's the only mystery in the movie, and it's solved in like 4 minutes. But
Yeah.
you know, like they let it hang there until everybody goes to get beer after practice, and then they explain it.
But yeah, I don't remember anything else too significant being said about it, and I kind of wish now that they had, but then that would have been a whole other book. And listen, I think most of us can agree we just want to read about Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. So let me ask you that then, because what I don't really want to do is spend our time comparing this to Dazed and Confused, because I think it loses. You know,
Yeah.
it loses
Oh
in
yeah.
comparison. Um, but have you been able to put your finger on why it doesn't work as well for you? Like what is it about this that doesn't hit the same way Dazed and Confused does?
It feels like it's a more specific experience because it's
Yeah.
not everyone can relate to the last day of school.
Hmm.
Everyone could relate to going to college. Not everyone can relate to living in a frat house, especially your freshman year.
Right.
But like going, like knowing, not everyone can relate to going to college on top of living off campus with a group, a sports team at that. Like those are some big things right there. Um,
Yeah, I see that. It's a little too specific.
yeah, and I'll be honest, somehow it just felt way more bro. It felt like a bro movie.
I was wondering if that was part of it, because I think that's true, but then I think of Dazed and Confused, and it's like it's the action in that movie is not driven by the female characters. You
No.
know, it's driven by the dudes. Um, Even though like there are girls with storylines and full ass arcs, which I guess is not true of this movie.
Nope.
Uh, so it's very much a guy centric movie for sure. Um, I felt that watching it, and I think that's part of it. I do think like I relate to this movie more than you do, more than. But you know what? Like I could see a way where you could, um, but
Even the
just
theater parts, I didn't really. I was like, "Oh, this is." I said, "Oh, they're making it seem like every theater party we all because we're all so kooky. We all wear costumes and there's always a theme where it's always glamorous and put together." Like, no, our parties are just as shitty as the frat ones. At least at
I don't know.
IU.
Yeah, I don't know. Put a pin in the party conversation.
Got it.
Um, I do think this. So, what this movie is about, Cheese Meisters, is the main character is a college freshman named Jake coming into the start of his first year of college. It's like whatever the movie starts on Thursday and classes start on Monday or something like that. Um, he's on the baseball team. He's a pitcher. He moves into like what is ostensibly a frat house, but it's a team house. There's two team houses next door to one another, and he moves in, and it's this old shitty frat house kind of place. You know, it looks like it's going to fall over. Almost falls under the weight of a waterbed, an ill-advised waterbed, um, which is like if that's not 1980, man, I don't know what is. Just trying to fill a fucking waterbed. At least they addressed head on um, that they're not good for fucking.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, because it's not that I've had an experience because
Me
the
either.
last time I was on a waterbed, I was like 6. You know, like because this was
Same.
an early '80s situation. Um, but they move around too damn much. Can't get any purchase. So it's a mess. You know, it's just no good. And they're terrible back support. Waterbeds suck. Like, I'm glad they only had half a waterbed in this movie. I probably would have had to like rate it down half a star for too much waterbed. Now, one of our things we rate things on is there the proper amount of waterbed in this movie? Proper amount is 0.
Edict.
Waterbed edict. Proper amount of waterbed is 0. And you know you get to meet the other guys on the team, the upperclassmen, Superman there, and Glenn Powell, and Willoughby, who's Wyatt Russell, who that
Bad
dude's
captain.
awesome. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Do you know Wyatt Russell from stuff?
Only from what did he show up in? Was it Winter Soldier and the Falcon?
Oh yeah, yes, I think he did. I do think that he was in that.
That is
Oh
all
yeah,
because again, well, I want to preface, I want to set the scene for the audience. I'm
got
watching
it.
the movie on my own. Walter is off to the side playing a game, half listening because he can't decide if he wants to watch it. And
Sure.
Willoughby shows up, and it takes me a minute, and Walter just goes, "Bad captain."
Yeah. Yep. He's solid. He
No, he
was.
was good.
I like him quite a bit. He was in a TV show whose name I just fucking can't remember. Oh, Lodge 49. It was like a one season show. He was the main character, and it's real fucking weird. Like
Hmm.
he's kind of like a dude kind of character, but like but the show has like this real Twin Peaksy vibe to it. Like I fell out after a while. It just I couldn't get my arms around the exact level of weirdness of this show. Um, but he's really good. I like him quite a bit. Um, he's a transfer student. He's coming in as a pitcher, along with Jay, a legitimate crazy person. Stomps around and hits things and talks to himself, and it's like super. That dude is on. Uh, he's what happens if Tony Miller keeps taking those steroids.
Oh shit.
Like this guy is on way too many stimulants, kind of all the time. Like he's a little scary. Um,
Yeah.
and his roommate, who's from Texas, who his girlfriend's one day late, so he thinks she might be pregnant, and mercifully is gone for like most of the movie. And a bunch of other just weirdo baseball players, and these guys spend the last weekend before classes start bonding as a team, sort of for
Sure.
lack of, I mean that's kind of what this is. They go to a disco, and they go to a country line dancing, ride the bull kind of
Yep.
place. They go to a pool hall, an arcade kind of situation. They go to a theater party. They go to a punk show in the middle of like a Saturday afternoon. Um, all trying to get some, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that I think the subject, like the title of the movie, using the title of the movie to explain what they're doing, I think does it a disservice.
Yes.
You know, because they're all actively trying to get laid. But guess what? So's everybody in college. Like just actively trying to get laid. Um, so you know, that's not like it's not a story point, you know? It's not a character motivation. It's just what people do.
Well, and like
Um
if you're trying if you're trying to negate the dumb jock stereotype,
mhm.
don't write a title. Don't make the
Yeah.
title lean into that. Because then I
Yeah.
don't know which to take seriously. And yes,
Mhm.
you're Richard fucking Linklater, but I'm still gonna hold you to a I'm gonna hold you to the same level I hold every other director. Like, you know, you're supposed to direct me on what you want me to see.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
And you don't think that he is?
I think he's trying, but it didn't work for me. I'll just
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
try to
get
be as
that.
nice about it as possible. It because again,
No, it's
this wasn't meant for me. This was his
mhm.
experience. This was 100 other people's experience. It was not mine, and it was just really disappointing that there were even less women to follow in this. So it was like
Yeah.
honestly, I think yeah, I'll be honest. It hurt because it's like you have like I know I'm not expecting him to write something for women, but like you have characters like Julie Delphi's in the Before trilogy, and she's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And I'm like, okay, so you are capable of having awesome women roles. And so then you
Well,
have something like, go ahead.
I'll say this: she helps write those movies, and so does Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, no, I know that part.
I think you're seeing her thumb on the scale there.
Then he needs to hire more women to put more of their thumb on the scale because this
Yeah,
I don't know. I just felt very like pushed to the side like no girls allowed. This isn't for you. And that's an extreme example right there of how this made me feel, but like it
I
didn't
get
make
it
me
though.
feel good.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. I I watched it almost twice today. Like I was having to like well, I was like having to watch it in chunks just because there was just a bunch of shit going on. And when I finally finished it, I had a little bit of time that wasn't accounted for, and so I just started it over again to try to like catch that beginning and put it with the end, even though it's the
Yeah.
other way around. Because it doesn't work as well for me either as Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused, I just fucking love. Like I that, and that's why it's like I don't want to spend all of our time comparing the two things, and I don't think we are. But
No.
it, but it is. I think you have to see it as a piece of a whole, perhaps, because it's doing the same things that Dazed and Confused is doing. You know, it's following a group of kids at a pivotal moment in their academic and social careers and their lives. It is focused on their social interactions, you know,
Mhm.
like and the lubrications that make those social interactions happen. The different ways people will smoke, or the different ways people will drink. The like the wiffle ball bat turned into a beer bong,
Yeah.
you know, which impressive by the way. And then the spin around and hit the that
Oh
was
my
an
god.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's a good party game. Good for you guys. I'd never thought of that one. I like it. Um, and so both of the movies are about consumption of weed and booze. They're both about parties. They're both about kids going from one party to another party. Nothing happens in
No.
either of the movies. They're not about the plot. They're both about the vibe. And the vibe is similar. You know, like they're both very laid back. Um, I mean, Glenn Powell is Wooderson if he stops trying to fuck high school girls.
Yeah.
You know, like you've got that same kind of energy between those two characters. You've got the incoming freshman and the upperclassmen with Mitch and TC and Jake and everybody else basically. All
Yeah.
the other Superman and Wyatt Russell and all those other people. I'm super Wyatt Russell, 30-year-old. Um, and so like they're mining the same stuff
Yeah.
for um, similar ends, I think, but not exactly the same ends. And I think that's what I picked up sort of the second time through. Like everybody wants some uh, is the sum that they want is some ass.
Yep.
But it's not just that. It's also they want everybody wants some connection. Everybody wants some community. You know, everybody wants some place to fit in. And that's what they're doing throughout the movie. Like they're all trying to figure each other out because they're a team that has to come together and like instead of being 25 strangers, they have to be a team to work together. And so they're trying to figure that out. They've got upperclassmen who, are trying to lead now, possibly for the first time, whereas before they were the kids coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they're all trying to find their piece within this group, but then also within the larger campus. Like they go to a disco, and they go to the country place, and they go to the punk show, and they go to the pool hall, and like and then they go to the theater party. Like they're trying different um, subsets of the college and seeing if they can fit in any of those places. And that's what all those people are doing too, even though we don't get to see them very much. We get to see Beverly a little bit, who I think is delightful, by the way. Like, I would have liked a whole lot more of her.
Yeah. I don't know. Something about her didn't do it for me either. And I think I just needed more, you know?
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't enter until like midway through the movie.
I needed more than just her with Jake. You
Yeah.
know? I wanted more of her with her friend.
Yeah. I liked all of the girls in this who had anything to do.
Yeah.
I like I found them to be kind of interesting characters, and there needed to be. It would have been nice to see a lot more of them.
Yeah.
From not just from a make it less broy standpoint, but I think just it felt like they cast interesting people who were like all super gorgeous, but just I don't know, the way that they interacted with the guys. Each of them was a different type of interaction,
Mm-hmm.
and almost all of them still ended up in bed, which is like kind of fascinating. Like all these different things work, you know?
Because, again, everybody wants some, but how
Right.
they want it is how they want it. And it's not going to be the same all across the board.
Yeah, yeah, and like all the guys have different approaches. All the girls have different reactions, and like it's just like none of the. I think that's what works about the movie is all of those interactions feel real,
Yeah.
and even though like I don't like any of these guys anywhere near as much as I like any of the guys in Dazed and Confused, like all of them I kind of like better than all these guys.
Yeah.
Even fucking Clint, because the fucking pothead.
I
I mean, even your douchebags are kind of better. But I did like that this was kind of like an exploration of self-classification.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all trying to define who they are, and that's so much of what happens at the beginning of college. Like that's where it's universal. It is very specific, as you say, but where it's universal is that experience of going to college, of starting in a new place, of having to figure out who you are in this environment and how that is different from how you were in your last environment. And, like Jake is saying, like everybody here was the best on their high school team.
Yeah.
And now you're like, I'm not even sure if I'm good enough to be here. And, Beverly is like the same thing in acting. We were all the lead in high school, and here we are just hoping we get cast in something.
Yeah, that hit.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And so like those parts of it are pretty universal.
Yeah.
Like that idea of, do I fit here? Am I this kind of, is this who I'm gonna, are these the people I want to, you just don't know. And that's what this moment in your life is about,
Mm-hmm.
because the possibilities are endless. You haven't even started classes, like
Yeah.
you're like, this is your first experience living out free and having no responsibilities and being able to just whatever, like just play basketball in the afternoon or get, like watch other people play ping pong.
Well, and it's a lot easier to explore other cliques when you're not in the same small town that you were
Yeah,
before, or
sure.
for those who didn't grow up in a small town, for your same just high school. Like that's
Mhm.
a small town in itself, you know.
Yeah.
You have to, I'm still amazed that the jocks wanted to explore. Now, not all of them did, you know. Like
Mhm.
Jake's character kind of had to talk, and Glenn Powell's character too had to like kind of talk people into like, of course, let's go along, you know. And that's a great attitude to have, but definitely not everyone would have done that. Like some people are
Right.
very comfortable where they are, and other people are like, oh, you mean I get to hang out with other people now, and no one can judge or like say I'm a nerd?
Right.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I wish I'd had more of that.
Me too.
Like trying other groups out, you know. Um but I wasn't nearly that self-assured, you know. Um I'll tell you though, like I was on a college sports team. My freshman year, I didn't go to IU my freshman year. I went to University of Indianapolis and played soccer. And um I the beginning of this movie felt so much like my like first 3 days of college. Not the parties and all of that, but the like you're here, you're a freshman, here are the upperclassmen who can like try to show you the way, try to help you figure shit out. You're part of a team. There's like a season long attempt at like mild hazing that also involved duct tape on my team. By
Jesus
the way,
Christ.
I never got duct taped. Um,
You know,
um,
that rings true to you because you managed to not ever get wedgied in high school, so
no,
way to
it's
not get
without
duct
Buford.
taped.
I know. I think I think I might have been like either at the beginning of that season, my best friend died, and it took me out of the season and for like a week. And then when I came back, I was just in a funk for like the rest of the season. So I think that I don't. I think I kind of missed the duct tape window because I just wasn't there, you know. And then
Yeah,
when I came back, I think they were just like, let's leave him be. You know.
good.
So yeah, I got out of that. But I also like by the end of the season, I was like, I guess they aren't even going to try. All right. It's weird. It's a weird
Yeah,
thing, that hazing ritual, because it does connect. It does make you part of the whole. Makes you feel like you're worth giving shit to.
which I think is kind of what I was trying to say. Okay, I've been low key stressing about how we talked about hazing and dazed and confused because I worry about everything I say on here. But
Sure.
like, yeah, I think that's what I meant because granted, it's fucked up. It's so fucked
Hmm.
up. And it's fucked up how you end up feeling like, oh, I missed out on something. Because now people have these connections
Hmm.
that you don't. And it's weird.
It's
Um,
real weird. Yeah. No, it's not healthy. But I'd be lying if I said I got to the end of the season and didn't feel like an outsider in
yeah.
part because of that. You know? I mean, again, lots of other shit going on.
Yeah.
So like this is like 100% of my October 1994 baggage is not attributable to duct tape. Okay. It's like duct tape can own like 0.00004%, but it's in there, you know, like it's part of the thing. So like, but that thing at the beginning of the movie where they're like all in the house and then there is a party and everybody's like, well, coach said we weren't supposed to drink, and right. Um, and the efforts that first weekend to make this group of guys into a team, I experienced that. It did
Hmm.
not work for me.
Got
Um, I was I was homesick. I missed my girlfriend. It's a fucking mess. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't sink all the way in. But I remember that apartment party, like that first night when it's the whole team and it's a team meeting without the coach there. And these are what we're going to do this year because we're going to get them. And, and then the older guys get beers and, and you have a party and some girls come over that somebody knew and, whatever. Like my experience of it was like the lamest version of this possible, but it's like, it happens. And so I felt that attempt to connect in this movie.
I don't know if it's the lamest version of it because I don't even know if there's a theater version of that. And there was a BFA program, an MFA program, and then all the serfs that were just desperate. When I say serfs in this instance, I mean the theater majors because there could be an endless amount. And it's like, okay, well, we're not all gonna. It's not all one group that's all gonna there are gonna be people who end up working more off campus or people who want to do this, people who hate musicals and won't even try. Like, I have no idea. The hazing probably would have happened in the BFA program, but I never heard anything about that. And so again, it's just very different experience. And
yeah.
Seeing things like this is eye-opening for me. Because it just reminds me again how little I know about the sports as a vibe. My first question when we get to intimacy is, I'm just going to tell you now, like, what is with all the ass smacking in sports? Can you explain that for a group that is stereotypically homophobic? What is with all the ass hitting?
I don't know. It's just a thing we do. I don't know. Honest to God, just since I was a little kid, when you're good job, smack somebody on the ass. They come off the court. Nice job. Come around, high five, smack on the ass when they're around in third base. There's ass smackery. It's all over the place. I don't know. I don't know.
I figured it's one of those things that isn't really going to have an answer, but
yeah, but it's not weird because everybody does it.
It's only weird to me. It's only weird to me because of how much gay panic there usually is amongst men. Right. So that's why I find it weird. I'm like, you all make it weird.
Yeah. No, this is like not in a gay way though.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm just gonna smack you on the ass a little bit while you're running around in a jockstrap and like nothing, but not in a gay way. Like just in a different kind of way. That's how I'll smack you.
You all are so repressed.
I don't fucking know, man. I don't make the rules. Me and Walter don't make the rules. We just live within the system that has these rules. And ass smacking in this instance is okay. Ass smacking over here, less so. I don't know.
Ass smacking when I'm dry, okay. Ass smacking when I'm wet, no. That's what I'm thinking.
Wet hurts more. That's why. This is probably a thing you don't know. When if you've seen like the towel whipping in movies and stuff, the reason that you wet the towel is it makes it a little firmer so that you have more control over it, but also hurts like a motherfucker. Like whap with the wet towel, it hurts way more than whap with a dry towel.
Just bring a flogger next time.
There's all sorts of things you could bring, but I'm just telling you these are they're normal. They're just normal things. I don't know. Not in a gay way though. It's not like in a gay way. Just a naked ass slap. That's all.
It's just like that Lonely Island song. I'm not gay.
I don't even know that one, but I agree. Not in a gay way. It's just normal ass smacking. Normal, straight, hetero ass smacking. That's what we got in this movie.
It all sounds like some repressive bullshit.
Again, I don't make the rules.
One of many reasons why I'm glad I'm a woman. It ain't much better for us, but that is one thing I don't have to worry about. Oh, do people think I'm gay? Don't care.
It's fair. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying I didn't care when I was 12 or whatever,
Sure.
um, but I very much don't care. Um, but no, I just the ass smacking in sports is kind of funny because it's just part of the thing, and there's no explaining it. There's no like here's why it's appropriate. There just isn't. It just is a thing. It's always okay. It's always been okay.
It's
So yeah, I don't know.
Hey, just to be clear, I'm not in that world. I don't have a problem with it. I just have a problem with hypocrisy, like any other person.
No,
And
I get it.
I find it really. I find it really amusing.
Look, I'll put it this way. Um, you know how like there are certain places where it's okay to scream and yell,
Yes.
and other places where it's not.
Yes.
Same thing. Like if
Okay.
you're at a football stadium, you can scream and yell all you want. When you're in the operating room, not recommended. You know, like it's same thing. Yeah, like it's just some behaviors are okay in some settings and not in others, and
Okay.
that is the social construct.
I can
We've
accept
just
that.
we've just agreed to this. It's just what the thing is.
Well, then,
So
to that end, I'm going to throw out to the world at large, then, since that is so normal in the sports
uh-huh.
world. Um, no, yeah, I'll say it, fine. Then stop
Sure.
acting like it's normal for actors just, oh, they're all just willing to do anything and everything. No, we're not.
No, I tell you what though, like here's one of those things. Like I'm not saying I wish we were smacking people in the ass like out in public all day long as an
Yeah.
attaboy. Like I don't want to take that out of that environment and put it everywhere. But here's the thing I would like to take out of an environment and put it everywhere. I want every day at work to basically end like every episode of Saturday Night Live. Like
Yeah.
I think that I don't know why the only place that at the end of a day's work you can just all go, we fucking did a great job, everybody, and hug a lot like theater.
No,
Like
I think that's fantastic.
I'd really like that. That I mean, I don't want to stay till the end of the day. That's like can we do it at noon?
And
Um, on
there's
my lunch break.
there's different levels of hugs. Some people are like, yeah, I see you all the time. Like, yeah, this is great. You did a nice job. And others are like, oh, you were amazing. And this is my first time working with you. I hope I work with you again. Oh, great.
Yeah,
And then some
yeah,
people just book it.
right. It's true. But before they book it, they all have to stand up there and get applauded for at least 15 seconds.
Oh,
You know, like
bastards.
just good job, everybody. You fucking did it today. Nice job. Hey, thank those folks up there and this
Yep.
guy over here. Everybody, fucking you nailed it today. And then if you want the hugs, have the hugs. If you just want to off backstage and do a bump off a key in the bathroom, whatever. I'm not telling you. Don't do that at work
Again,
or anything.
you do you.
Right. But can we just everybody? That'd be great. I'd like to do that. More of
Can
that.
I get, man, I'm lucky if a medical student tells me I'm good at my job. And again, that's not their job. But I
Nope.
appreciate it.
It's nice to be recognized.
Yes.
Yes, of course. One of the things I thought was interesting about this movie that as a total change of subject was that like it very much centered competition,
Mm.
but also it centered competition as like a path to cooperation, but it also looked at it askance, right? Like there was lots, like there was the mud wrestling, which is like sexy competition, and it's there for the horniness of it, but it's also a competition. Like it's, if you like, that doesn't have to be part of it, but it is. You get like a really angry ping pong game. Which, have I told you that my brother used to throw ping pong paddles at me when he was angry at the results of ping pong games?
Oh no.
And ping pong paddles, cheese meisters, hurt like a motherfucker because they are wood, and one end of it weighs more than the other. So when it travels through the air, it whips really hard. And you just have to not get hit. You can't block it. You can't catch it. It's too weird in the air. Like I had so many like forearm bruises from trying to protect myself. So like, yeah, exactly. So when he throws that pong paddle, kid, don't be on the other end of that. Like
you instinctively ducked.
I did. I mean, oh fuck. Yeah, no, it's rough. But they're like, they play basketball inside and outside. They've got the baseball game. It's constant competition, and it's considered good because it's part of who they are, and it's what makes you bring a bunch of competitive guys together, and that's how you win championships. Like it's sort of, they say that in there, but then they also have like the one guy who's too competitive, and they all think that guy's crazy. So like I think it's an interesting and nuanced way to look at competition, which I wasn't kind of expecting with this.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I liked it.
No, it's interesting. Competition has always been such a lacking thing in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to feel about it. Like I don't mind not being competitive, because I know when I was a kid and I didn't win something, obviously when you're a kid, you tend to be more of like a sore loser than any other time, but I didn't like that. So I didn't want to lean into that. The one time I tried out for a sports thing, didn't make it. I went, cool, tried that. And for some reason just never tried, because even though theater is also competitive, I was competing with other people, but it never felt the same way because I don't know why. And I mean, it's just weird, the lack of a competitive nature that I have, and how it's like, I don't know, it's good and bad, like anything.
Yeah. I'm competitive in that, like, if we're playing a game, I'm going to play to win the game, because otherwise you're not honoring the game. Like,
yeah,
you chose to do this. Like, we could all just sit here and chat, but we chose to play a game while we chat. So I'm going to chat, but I'm also going to try to win the game because we brought that into the equation, But I like to have fun and like kind of, like act like it's a big deal. But I don't give a shit if I win these games. But the fact that I care at all makes Laura think I'm really competitive.
Well, and I just realized not a sad discovery, but a disappointing discovery. I think a lot of my lack of competition comes from like being a people pleaser. Like, I mean, because at the end of the day, like, again, with playing games, I don't really care. If I do, cool. But I also don't really care. Unless it's playing pool, then I care. That is the one game I'm like, no, I want to be good at this. I want to be a pool shark. But yeah, I'm too much of a people pleaser when it comes to that. And again, just sad. Just, I should be able to have fun, live my life, and not care.
Yeah. I used to, you know what it is, which is kind of weird, is I like to compete. I don't care if I win.
It's the best
You
way to
know,
be.
like it. I mean, it is, but it also like it makes you not like super driven. You know, like because you go, it's fine.
Hmm.
You know, like I had fun doing that. You know, I like playing that game. Um, I think if I went on Survivor and was voted out like third, I'd be like, that's cool. Like that's fun to do, wasn't it, everybody? Did we have a good time?
I used
Um,
to joke about how funny it would be if I went on or even wrote a sketch, but like if I went on The Bachelor and was just flirting with the boom guy the whole time, and then where they're like, "Hey, you didn't get picked," like, can it? I just want to be here for the house. I'll just listen.
right.
I'll. Those rooms are crap. There's a closet somewhere with a bunch of equipment. Just let me lay out a blanket on that. I just need a break.
Yeah, that's right. Just switch it up a little bit.
These are
Hold on
my
a
right
second.
reasons.
I'm with you. Yeah, you gotta do it for the right reasons. Um, speaking of doing it, how about intimacy?
Oh boy.
A lot of ass grabbing.
Oh boy. And of course, I forgot to look up the thing that I said look up. But we can
Maybe you
discuss.
just meant on like the ceiling.
And no, I was thinking about, and I forget if which moment this first showed up, but I'll just, yeah. Okay. Casting for butts.
Okay,
I,
Sam Rockwell.
yeah, and yeah, like what does a casting for butts look like? Do you know going in that like, hey, we're looking for actors, and then when you get in the room, like, so we're actually looking for your butt.
You hear? Okay, can I pause you just for a second? Because
Sure.
holy fuck, did I not like the opening scene of this movie? I thought whoever did the ass casting in this movie deserves an Oscar because there are just smoking hot asses all over the place. I can't believe you're talking about this in your intimacy. Please continue.
Wait, now I'm so thrilled that you mentioned that because I couldn't remember. I was like, all I could see was the one that like where the woman, delicately pulls down the lacy underwear but keeps it there and just
Oh,
shows
it's like
the ass grab.
when that's a nice ass grab. No, when he's driving through
Yes.
campus and every woman he sees, he's looking at her ass, and so are we. And every one of them was cast for optimal ass.
So here's what I'm thinking they probably did, as someone who frequently looks at casting notices.
Oh, I thought you were going to say looks at ass.
That too, although I'm more of a boob lady. Come on. Boobs are special.
I like it all, baby.
You don't discriminate. But I would imagine they put in the notice like, hey, looking for young women, these ages, we're looking for curvaceous women, like, like you're going to be walking around, we're going to be, I don't know if they would say we're going to be shooting from behind more, like people are going to be, sometimes they explain the scene and what they need figure wise. So again, to submit yourself like, oh yeah, I have an ass, I can do that. Or like, oh no, I'm kind of a pancake booty, so they're not going to, no. Or if you have the confidence and they just go with it because they're lacking people, then you go for it.
There's lots of different kinds of nice ass.
Sure.
And this movie had a lot of it. Like it was a ass smorgasbord. Like there was dude ass like swinging from vines and shit, and dude ass squatting over another dude's face. Like dude ass too, not just ladies, but well done, ass caster.
Well done. You did your job and you did it well. So I was thinking about that on what the casting notice probably looked like because again, they're clearly needing women with asses in this opening scene. Yeah.
Yeah. And then throughout.
And of course then too, like, how do you do that appropriately in auditions? Because you don't need to be taking off clothes. That is, I don't know how they would do it.
Sweetie.
No.
Like that. No?
Nope.
Not in a gay way. Just turn around.
I have read, I think it was in Anna Kendrick's book where she was picking out a body double where they had like an album of asses.
Nice.
And she just picked like, oh yes, this actor looks like they could be the back of me, and I would like them to represent my derriere. Thank you very
I like
much.
it.
Um,
Yes.
so yeah,
Ask
they do.
number 7.
Yeah, they do things like that. Man, there were so many little intimacies. Like we had someone nibbling on a man's ear at one point. And it's
Mhm.
like, well, you got to know how hard you're going, because that could really hurt.
Yep.
Or that might be really ticklish. Someone might have a problem there.
Mhm.
Um, the the disco scenes were what really got me excited, intimacy wise, because it didn't look super choreographed. You know, everyone was, again, Linklater did it right with building an ensemble, and building an ensemble and taking that time is going to cultivate intimacy in the most natural way possible for these characters. Like, how are these two together? Are they really vibing together? Are they just dancing together? Like, is she feeling him more than him, or vice versa? You know, there's so many different ingredients to play with here, and I feel like they all did that really well, and they captured it really well.
Mhm.
um Same with the scene back at the frat house later on when they're all finally hooking up. Like, you know, we see, here's where I'm gonna wince a little, because like it felt so male gazy, and
Mhm.
I didn't care for it. Like, you know, the nude body is beautiful in the right context, and this was not the right context for me. This felt so like,
Mhm.
you know, the purposeful shot of just the ass, the
Mhm.
lowering of the underwear, and then the hand grab. I'm like, okay. But then even worse was just like when we got to the tits, and I'm like, no, these are supposed to be nice. This is supposed to feel like more than just look at those. And that's all it felt like.
I don't even remember seeing any boobs. Whose
They were
boobs
right
were?
after the butt.
I guess I'd missed them. I don't know.
That's
Weird.
amazing, Jeff. Oh, I'm
That doesn't
sorry.
normally happen. I
Well,
know.
the boobs were not sad. The context was sad. I just want to make that clear, because I don't want that actress to feel bad. They were lovely, but it made
We
me
like
feel
you.
sad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, it's like when Leslie Knope tells the Abe Lincoln stripper, "Mr. Lincoln, please put your pants back on." Like, that's how I felt. Madam, please put your bra back on.
Gotcha. I
Um,
disagree. Generally speaking, I can't. To be honest with you, I can't imagine a circumstance where I would say, "Put your bra back on." Like,
I mean,
you know.
it tells a story, not a happy
I'm just saying.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, well then how about this? Then I would have been like, okay, madam, let's reshoot this. This is making me sad. Um, Rick, give me the camera. You don't know how to operate it. I will figure it out. There,
Sarcasm.
speaking of that montage. Oh, I called it the Nookie montage. I'm so funny.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Glenn Powell. He's I liked him and his woman the most because we had this beautiful back shot of her. I mean, it looked
Mhm.
lovely, and like I couldn't even tell it was him at first. I thought it was some other guy. But then when they're like canoodling, he has his hand like raked through her hair
Uh-huh.
just like that. And I went, "Okay, buddy, it's done." Like, pull
Right.
my hair during, not after.
But pull it. I
I
just want to
mean,
be clear. I just want to be
yes.
clear. Definitely do that.
That is fine.
Take your moment.
Pull the hair. Not a problem with pulling the hair. It's when you do it. Yeah.
That's right.
It looked weird in that instance, and I was, yeah, it caught me off guard. And there's a way to make that look better, but I couldn't. The other really male gazy moment that I just didn't care for, because again, it's, if it hadn't become a trope, maybe. If this wasn't shot in 2016, when I know it's a trope, maybe. But the mud wrestling.
Oh, sure. I mean, I think that's kind of the point. Like, it's a tip of the hat to all the old college movies where that kind of nonsense happened. You know, like the Animal House and, you know, Stripes. It's not college, but same thing.
And like,
yeah, I think that was a reference.
You know, if they're having fun, they're having fun. It's just it's hard for me to watch things like that and think people are really doing it because they want to and weren't talked into it. That's my unfortunate limited scope. I am happy for people who have enjoyed it or are able to watch it and go, they look like they're having fun, and think nothing else. That's lovely.
Right. Yep.
You know,
you feel about
I'm
mud
at least
wrestling the way I feel about ballet.
Oh, you know, that's fair.
I just go, God, their feet have to fucking hurt.
They must really miss eating. Yes, that is a great point, and would not have thought about it that way. But it's a good point.
Yeah, it just looks like it hurts to me. You know, the pointy toe situation. I just think it's not good.
But you feel so pretty and strong when you make it up. On there.
I guess.
But you need teachers to help you be able to do more than that. Unfortunately. Oh, we had ass in face at one point, literally.
Yes, we did.
Squatting down on him, and I thought, oh my God, that I would be like, nope, I can't. There's a risk of, okay, you're gonna need to shower. I'm gonna need you to take this big ass sponge and just, because any risk of pink, I'm not even kidding. I'm not getting pink eye from this scene. What?
I didn't know you were going. I didn't think this was going to pink eye. That's okay. I mean, I understand that's how. I understand that's how pink eye happens, but I didn't think that was your primary objection.
Oh no! I mean, again, I don't want to diss anyone's kink, but it ain't for me.
Okay.
Yeah, you've really got to trust the people you're working with to feel okay with just one about to land on you.
Brown eye to the face. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're, much like the anytime we talk about like teenage movies and the intimacy, like this is kind of similar. It's a bit more refined because you've got people who are developing how they flirt with people, or how they like, they're more experienced than the teenagers, but they're still messy. Yeah. So
any other intimacies?
I don't think so. Like, I know there's probably a lot more that I didn't talk about in it, but the male gaze took me out.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely there. I mean it's there. You're not wrong. You're not making it up. Yeah.
We do have some nice kisses between Jake and Beverly, but again, like, I don't know, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it for them because I didn't feel like he wanted, but again, that is where the director's trying to tell us, again, these jocks are more than just the stereotype. Like, maybe he does want something more with her. Like, they don't know. It's only the first weekend. They're
right.
It's early stages. Like, I think where I felt it most for them was in that phone call.
Yeah, I love the phone call. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the phone call's great.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think they're broken up by Thanksgiving. But that's okay. Like, that doesn't make this weekend any less true.
Them talking in the water, in the tubes. Love that. Yeah. That might be the most romantic moment for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that too. Well, do you want to go into Jake's room and kick that bumpkin out so we can check out Needle Drop Forest?
Fuck yeah, I do.
All right. So, this is a pretty good soundtrack. It's not as good, as Dazed and Confused, but it's good. But what it made me think of, and I texted you this because I want to be fair and I want to give you a chance to think about it.
Thank you.
because I had this experience a few years ago, just going back to IU for a basketball game or something. And as I pulled into town, I had the 90s on 9 on Sirius XM on playing on the radio. And it was like some like first album Dave Matthews was on the radio or something. And I was like, this feels exactly like 1994, 1995 to me.
Nice.
And
Let's Go Marching.
So, yeah, it's something like that.
Like that's what I'm hearing.
Yes, yeah. So when you, in your memory, if you're driving into Bloomington, you're a college student, what's playing on the radio?
I did a little research because I was like, oof, what even... I don't remember that era being particularly memorable. And I specifically looked up, because it would have been 2008 for me driving in freshman year. And then I found the song on a list and I went, oh yeah, like the intro alone is which it would be. You need the intro to land and for it to make you think, yes, anything's possible in this moment. And for me, it's Paper Planes by MIA.
I do not know that song. Okay.
Oh, it's fun. I think it was I don't think she was a one-hit wonder per se, but that's like the only song I know from that artist and the only one I know hit the radio. But yeah, that was kind of a big deal for a minute.
I probably know that song, and if you had told me that it was called Paper Planes by MIA, I would have been like, oh, it's interesting.
Exactly.
I know that song. I don't know what it's called.
You've definitely heard it. But I was also thinking, so that's the song for me for like if I'm driving up freshman year. But I also think a lot about Ben Folds and college synonymously, because that's what I would drive around listening to. Okay,
perfect.
Yeah.
I like the answer for me isn't Dave Matthews, but it's I mean, it could be. Like, it could be Dave Matthews, or it could be Counting Crows, or it could be Toad the Wet Sprocket, or it could be, and I think who it is I think it's Allison Road by the Gin Blossoms.
Okay.
I think that's the song. That whole album feels so much like freshman, sophomore year of college to me. Nice. But it's probably Allison Road. So if you're...
I can't think of that off the top of my head, but I want to look it up later.
Yeah. I mean, it's a jangly guitar rock song. And I really like it. But it's just, that album I listened to a bunch. So when if that would be on while I was driving into Bloomington, I'd be like, yeah, this feels like home. Like, this is the right sound.
Happy feelings.
Yeah, it's good. Okay. What else time? Is this anyone's defining role?
I don't think so.
I don't either. And because if it is, then I've literally never seen them in anything else.
I mean, I think the people they were hoping to launch in this film didn't get launched, because I haven't seen them. Other than, like, I know I've seen Zoe Deutsch around. I couldn't tell you in what, but I'm like, I know that face. She has such Anna Kendrick vibes.
Yeah.
While being distinctive in her own way.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Obviously, Glenn Powell has done other things.
Right. And then Superman is, Superman.
Yeah. Willoughby's bad captain.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if she's been in anything that I've seen. Oh, she was in the second Zombieland movie, but I haven't seen that. I saw the first one.
Oh, I probably saw her in that then. Wait. Did we watch Zombieland? What? Did we watch Zombieland? Oh, okay. I don't remember what I watched in the pandemic.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't see anything that she's been in that I've seen. Yeah, but I don't think this is anybody's defining role. I thought the people were good in this movie, but I agree that, like, no one got launched.
No.
You know, like no one became. I mean, Glenn Powell's a huge star, but it wasn't because of this. You know, this wasn't
No.
like, whoa, this is his moment. Um, so yeah, I agree. I don't think it's anybody's. All right, what's the best party? The jock party, the stoner party, the discos, the country bars, the punk rock show, the theater parties. What's the best party?
Disco.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't stress enough how much I would love to go to a disco, experience that, you know, yeah, that looks like pure fun. Everyone's just there to dance and maybe have a drink or two, have a good time. I
Mhm.
love it. Theater parties are too much pressure cuz
Okay.
because here's what really happens at a theater party. You got some people who are there again just to have fun, be with their theater people. Then you've got some people who are like, I'm gonna practice a character I've never done before, but this is who I bring out at parties, and I'm Janet Snakehole, and I have dressed in the finest clothes in Bergdorf Goodman's. You know, like, that's where the Janet Snakeholes come out, and they're
Yeah.
not all fun. They're terrifying.
Exhausting. Yeah, no, that's exhausting to even consider. Oof. Fucking tired now. Just 30 seconds with
No.
that lady. 30 seconds with that lady and I'm done.
Yeah, you're trying to have a conversation like, "Oh, hey, Janice, how you doing? I'm not Janice, I'm Janet tonight." And you're like, "Oh God, okay, nice seeing you, Janice.
To,
Don't hate me. Cast me in your next thing."
yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes theater parties can be fun. Other, honestly, the older I get, the more I'm like, "Do we have to go to this cast party?"
Mm, gotcha.
I would like for people to relax on the personalities.
Okay. I get
Yeah.
that. Um, disco makes me tired. Um,
No, disco's
yeah.
great.
I no, just I don't think it's not great. I think the thought of doing it for like more than a song and a half.
That's what the Coke is
Oh,
for.
totally fair. It's totally fair. No, I hadn't factored in the intense stimulant. I that's that oversight is mine, and
If I'm
I
gonna experience 1970s disco, I'm at least trying. I'll be honest, I'm at least trying a little bit of something.
I'm gonna take a bump and go.
My nails are too good.
There you go. That's why you have car keys. Um.
I
All
didn't know
right.
people used car keys.
Yeah, people do. Yeah. You
What's
should.
John Mulaney's line? You see, when you're a drug addict, you see the world in surfaces.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Artie Lang tells a whole story about doing key bumps while he was driving, dressed in a pig costume from Mad TV.
Oh my God.
Like he had to tear the snout open to be able to do it. But yeah, he got in trouble because it was really expensive, the prosthetic for the pig thing.
Oh
Um,
God.
yeah. So, yep. It's the thing people have done, seemingly. Okay, I have one more question for you. Uh, choose your favorite mustache from this movie.
Wait, hold on. You didn't say what party you would go to.
Oh, I always liked the theater parties because I liked the theater people. Because it was a place where I could be actively weird,
Yeah.
not like play a character, but just sort of like have my sense of humor.
Yeah.
Um, when you have my sense of humor in a lot of places, you just get stared at.
No, I
So
understand.
yeah, so I always felt very comfortable in the theater parties where I could just sort of be myself and know that like I wasn't the weirdest person here.
See, and I kind of have the opposite now because at non-theater people things, they think I am so funny and
Sure.
incredible. And I'm just like, yeah, I know. I don't know why I'm not getting cast either. This world, am I right? So yeah, no, yeah.
No,
Theater parties used to be fun.
my default setting is just slightly too weird for most like normal people gatherings. So I have to dial it way back, and then I'm just like guy sitting there, you know.
Well,
So,
and I just realized too, I feel like it's kind of unfair to anyone I consider a non-theater friend right now because they're still artist types. So yeah, my weirdness still blends in pretty well. Like if I were to
yeah.
go like, I don't know, party in Manhattan, then yeah, they'd probably actually I have no idea where the Dude Bros would be, but I wouldn't be there. That'd be dangerous.
Yeah, no, I get that. Um, yeah, so
Oh
for me it would be the theater parties, I think. The jock parties, no. I'm hard
no.
pass.
Nope. So my favorite mustache.
Yeah, what's your favorite mustache in this movie? Which one do you want to take a ride on?
Hmm.
Well, that one tickles.
Superman's looks the sturdiest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the others kind of looked a little flimsy. Like,
But the one that like almost connected to the sideburns, that
oh,
like pointed
gross.
way out. You don't like
Hold
that
on.
one?
I'm gonna look up these faces real quick. I hate to, look up things but I want to make sure I want to know. I want to choose correctly. Whose
Okay.
mustache?
While you're looking, I texted you something at the beginning of this movie, and this is uh, if I wanted to use AI to create a true masterpiece, what I would say is for it to give me everybody wants some double exclamation point.
Yeah.
But everyone's face is Paul Rudd's from Anchorman.
Yes.
That's like that is I couldn't get that out of my head in like watching it in this. So
God, he's
that's
so
what I
great.
would ask AI for, and I'm sure it would do a really upsetting job.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with what I originally said, and I'm correct. It's Superman's mustache. That thing
Okay.
looks like it's I don't know. I don't know what to say. I questioned myself. I have no jokes. I'm done.
That's the proper tensile strength for what you're looking for.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I don't have a favorite mustache. They're fine. That J dude, his was my least favorite.
Is that the
That's like that. No. I prefer that guy's to the mustache of the super aggro guy, the pitcher.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, his mustache is harsh. I don't like it.
Well, he probably actually wanted an Adolf stash, but was like,
No, it
"Oh,
was a little longer.
can't do
than
that
he would've
anymore."
said.
So
Yeah, a little bit. There was a reason his mustache was as tight as it was.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. What is this the EST of for you?
I think this is the most flip-floppy movie because it just felt kind of jarring, the going back and forth of like, dude, aggro competitive, pussy, and then like, sometimes I feel like I'm having an identity crisis, and then like it was.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm exaggerating, but it was jarring, and then the fact that it just ends with him falling asleep and no one's really evolved or taken to heart anything. I'm just like, that is my bitter take on it, and I'm sorry for anyone who loves it, but
Yeah, I get
I think
it.
it's pretty flip floppy.
Okay, that's fair. I don't even know what this would be the ESTF because everything that it is, it's not the most or best of that thing.
Yeah, it's pretty middling.
Yeah, I mean it like, but I don't want because I think I liked it. Like I would hang out in this movie. I'd watch it again.
Okay.
I don't think it's super funny. But it's a good hang. So
Yeah,
it's. I guess this movie is the hangiest. It's a good hang, but that's kind of the extent of it.
I I like that, and I would agree with it. Like, I did laugh. I just was then confused.
Right. Yeah, no, I get that. Uh all right, so I think that once again we have proven my theory that everything comes back to Aaron Spelling.
Even everybody wants some.
Double exclamation point. Um all right, so join us here next week, Cheesemeisters, when on Wednesday we will be discussing season 4, episode 4, Greek to me. And then
Which you remember absolutely nothing about.
I don't. I mean, I see that John Sears is in it.
I could also tell you were busy today by my text messaging to you. I was like, oh, I think he's
Oh,
bogged
I
down with
was.
stuff.
Yeah, I was busy today. Plus, when you were text messaging me, why would I say both of those words? Why wouldn't I have just said texting me? When you
Fair
were
enough.
messaging me
You know,
on your portable telephone device.
can we just put it, make the excuse of COVID brain right now? Like, I'm ill, man.
I don't have it. I don't know. I don't know why I just
I
said
said
that.
it though.
But I did.
I just said it.
No, I don't. Oh, maybe you did. I don't know.
I did. I'm pretty sure I just
I
said
thought
it,
you
but
just said. I thought you just said texting, and then I said text messaging.
no, I'm pretty sure I said text messaging, and I thought you were making fun of me because if you said it, it went over my head.
No, I was making fun of me because I said it. It just felt weird coming out of my mouth.
That's what she said.
Um, she never did say that. She's not that crude. She'd do it, but she wouldn't say it. No, at the beginning of your texting, I thought you were talking about the movie. So that I didn't process. I was like, because you were like, these guys, such and such. And I was like, right, these guys. Because the movie is just these guys. So it took me a while to realize you were talking about the episode. And let's see.
We almost did this movie too soon because it kind of ties in better with the next one, but we'll find things.
Well, it's also, this tying it in with Little Fish, where they're talking about how they were the big fishes in their high schools, and it kind of fits here too.
No, it still fits.
Yeah, and it's right at the beginning of school before the having to learn stuff starts.
Yeah.
So Greek to me on Wednesday, and then I'm curious as to why you suggested, like, remind me why it makes sense to do. Is it the radio part?
There's the radio part, and then when Brandon is talking to Jim and Cindy about Greek life versus being politically involved, Jim is like, well, the Greek life was considered conservative, and in my, they were very against us protesting the Vietnam War, and like, so there's mention of it.
Okay. All right.
We don't have to. I don't know how I've never seen it. No, I've never seen it.
Okay. Interesting.
If it's too heavy for this, then let's not do it.
It is. So, Cheesemeisters, what we're talking about, because I never said it, was Good Morning Vietnam. And it's a movie I've seen a bunch because we had it on tape because, free Showtime weekend or something.
Oh, yeah.
That's the reason I saw almost everything. And it's a good movie. It's funny at the beginning, and then it's a war movie. And so, like, the tone does some weird shit.
Okay.
So, take that for. I like the movie. I do. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I like it, and I quote it with some regularity. And I'm certain we can find the connection. So, you know what, Cheesemeisters, we might just watch Good Morning Vietnam, which is I would not have thought about it, but here we are. So
you're welcome. All it took was radio scenes and the mention of Vietnam, and I put it together.
You did. Airman Adrian Cronauer. Okay.
I still want to look up other stuff.
Well, I mean, we've got a whole season to fill. So,
It's
you
true.
know, we can't, like, we can't do frat movies every week, but frat movies would fit most every week. So,
Oh boy.
Yep. So, yeah, Good Morning Vietnam seems as good a thing as any to watch. So maybe that's what we'll do, Cheese Meisters. But until then, cheers.
Cheers.